All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're basically stepping into the middle of a war zone. We've got these cryptic little fragments of a story, a violent homecoming that kicks off with a prayer and ends with a death threat. Our mission? To decode these pieces and figure out just who this man at the center of all the chaos really is.
So the story kicks off with this really solemn tone. You know the one, right? In the name of the Father and of the Son. It's a prayer we all recognize, and it immediately makes you think of something sacred, traditional, maybe even a funeral. The stage is set for a quiet, reflective moment.
And then, bam! Just like that quiet, sacred moment is absolutely shattered. This isn't just an interruption, it's like a total desecration. That whiplash, it's completely intentional. It's a huge sign that this story is not going to play by any rules you think you know.
So you have to ask yourself, what kind of story does this? It starts with a prayer, and then in the blink of an eye, pivots to a death threat. What's going on in that massive gap between those two extremes? That's the puzzle we're going to try and solve today, just using these little clues we've been given.
Okay, first things first, let's break down this central conflict. Because what we're looking at here isn't just a story, it's a full-on collision of two completely different worlds.
And you can see it right here, how everything is just split down the middle. On one side, you've got the language of prayer. All calm, faith, tradition. And on the other, just pure chaos, rage, violence. This is way more than just a disagreement. It's a fundamental break, and it's all happening in the exact same place at the exact same time.
Okay, so now we're starting to get some context for this clash. And let me tell you, this is where the emotional stakes get cranked up to a whole new level.
And boom, here's the one detail that changes everything. We're at a funeral, a son's burial. Suddenly, that prayer makes perfect sense, and those violent threats, they become so much worse. This is supposed to be a place for grieving, for respect.
And this one line, oh man, it just gets right to the heartbreaking core of it all. I want my son to have a peaceful burial. It's just a parent's simple plea for one last moment of dignity. They're just trying to protect their child's memory from all this chaos.
But now, listen to what people are whispering. The air is just thick with this dread. Do you think he'll come? It's so obvious they're not talking about your average guest. And then that line, nobody is so insane, it just hangs there, right? It's textbook dramatic irony, because you and I both have this awful feeling that someone is exactly that insane.
And just like that, right on cue, the storm hits. What was just a nervous whisper a second ago is now a full-blown hurricane of violence.
This person doesn't exactly make a quiet entrance. It's more like a hostile takeover. The shouting, "Move! Get out!" It's not just impolite, it's a violation. They're literally tearing this sacred space apart.
And wow, the crowd's reaction is just as intense. This isn't just people being annoyed. This is pure, primal hatred. I mean, to scream for someone's death at a funeral of all places, what on earth could someone have done to provoke that kind of response?
And then we hear from the man himself. Daddy is home. Chills, right? The way he says it, it's all about ownership and menace. He doesn't think he's an intruder at all. In his mind, he's just taking back what's his. And using the word daddy, it's just so unsettling. It's possessive, it's primal, and it's the complete opposite of the solemn grief he's just demolished.
Okay, with everything at a boiling point, let's just hit pause for a second and really look at the man who started this fire. What have we actually learned about this so-called toxic father?
Well, the title itself is a huge clue, isn't it? Toxic. Someone who behaves in a way that's harmful to other people. And let's be real, this guy isn't just harmful. He's like a walking biohazard, just poisoning the sanctity of a funeral by just showing up.
So let's piece this together. What kind of person are we looking at here? He's someone people are terrified of, someone they hate, yet he calls himself daddy. He completely desecrates a sacred ceremony, but then you hear someone dismiss him as just a drunkard. Is that just brushing him off, or is it maybe a clue to the tragedy that's fueling all this rage?
All of this complexity, all these contradictions, it all leads us to our final and maybe the most important question of all. What kind of story are we actually watching unfold here?
So what's the deal? Is this man a total monster, a villain who's literally come to dance on his own son's grave? Or is he a broken father, an anti-hero whose grief has just twisted and curdled into this all-consuming, maybe even righteous fury? The teaser shows us the explosion, but it doesn't really show us what lit the fuse. And it leaves us with this chilling echo of a man who, for better or for worse, has definitely come